Hello, Viddy of Video Games for Fun here, and welcome to the brainstorming videos for the top 25, yes that's right 25, games showcase for 2021, where I aim to involve as many people as possible talking about their favourite games. In this video I'm going to talk about how to rank the games we're going to talk about. Before I do that, I want to provide some context, some of which will be reiterated from the 10th episode of Gaming Memories, so bear with me. As you may or may not know, I did top games lists from 2003 to 2008. Here is how I organised it. It was similar to the list I saw Hyper Magazine do in early 2003. There was a large selection of nominated games to choose from. Each participant would choose 20 from that list and rank them from 1 to 20. Over time, I increased the nominees list depending on which old or new games were discovered or talked about. I cannot exactly remember how much I changed the ranking procedure, but I do remember that around 2007 or 2008, I allowed people to choose 50 games and rank them. A big undertaking, to be fair. If not 50, then it was 10 or 20, something like that. And that is where I come on to the ideas for this year's Top Games Showcase. First of all, definitely no nominated games to choose from. I'll let you choose whatever games you want. I'll talk about that in part 2 or 3. I have a few ideas for the ranking procedures to choose games, starting with the first idea. The first one is similar to how I did it in the past. Each person submits their own list of games, ranked from 1 to 25. I am allowing the option to choose a minimum of 5 games and the max being 25 for those who may not necessarily have that many favourite games. The second one is simply just submitting a bunch of games completely unranked to me. A similar choose your island games exercise. However, I think that would require a very large number of people to participate, which brings me on to the third and probably most likely option, the tiers. This concept is something I've only recently become familiar with, going as far back as, say, someone grouping Dungeons of Zelda Ocarina of Time into tiers. In this one, I'm thinking of 5 tiers and named by number, not letter. A D tier sounds a bit sad. Tier 1 can only have one game, your favourite game of all time, your number 1, the only best game ever made in the history of the universe. But what about the other 4 tiers? For each one, you had to have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 games each, with 6 each adding up to a total of 25 games. Now for the first and third options, how should I count the votes, so to speak? For the first option, the 25th game would get 1 point, 24 would get 2 and so on, with the top 3 games getting bonus points, the emphasis being on choosing your top 3 favourite games carefully. That careful selection also extends to the third option, where any game in Tier 5 would get release points, and the game on Tier 1 getting bonus points. Speaking of a number of points, I hope to, regardless of how we choose our favourite games to submit, have the final results shown in the project video from the 25th game to the first one. And here's the beginning of the end of the first brainstorming video for the top 25 games showcase. That's where I leave it to you people in the comments. Should I stick with the first idea, similar to how I did my past lists? With your help, will we get a lot of people so the second idea is used? Or will we go with the tiers option, something that seems to be quite popular on gaming videos? Shout out to a friend remembers for mentioning that in the Gaming Memories video. Or is there some other way I could do this, or even change/modify any one of these options? I am aware that this all seems a bit complicated, especially if we stick with a tiers idea instead of a more conventional ranking system. The tiers one makes for less of a this game is better than this game mindset. Even when I did a films list in 2009, at least one person thought it was unranked, but I thought it was ranked, with the numbers next to each entry. Mulholland Drive is your number 1 film? Oh, you didn't realise, and it's one of your favourites. Whoops. Keep on brainstorming ideas for this top 25 games showcase so we can make this project a reality. Also, why 25 games instead of 20? Well, you don't expect me to limit it to just 20, do you? I'll think of an additional 5 games. Again, don't tell me what your favourite games are yet, and even then, submit them via private messaging or other means. I'll organise a better email or something. Have a good day or night or whatever it is, and I'll see you for the next brainstorming video or some other video. Bye.